Studios. We have an office basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID. They can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
But I want someone to actually know them and know that it's...
Hey everybody, this is David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Thanks so much for joining us every single Thursday. I think my camera's a little bit off here. Am I wrong? I'm looking at the camera.
What's wrong with your camera?
If I'm looking at this camera, I feel like I'm off.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Nikki's going to figure this out today. I am David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. We are here live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. while Nikki figures out what's going on today.
Just look at all of them.
Yeah. Look at all the cameras.
Just say one thing to each one.
Nikki is new to Sticky Paws Studio, and she's going to figure this all out. As long as people can hear me. Can people hear me out there?
I hear you fine. Oh, they can hear you, I'm sure.
Okay. So, today, as usual, my beautiful Cambodian co-host,
Me love you
Janti.
long time.
Me love you long time, Janti.
Me love you long time.
And then we have Uncle Marvin here today. Uncle Marvin, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I was saying that before the show that, the rumor is that when men have problems, they start a podcast, but women normally go for therapy. I would say I'm not sure what's cheaper, to go for therapy or to have a weekly podcast at Sticky Paws Studio.
Depends on how much you're paying.
That's true.
Right?
This could be an expensive, bad habit.
No comment.
No comment.
Oh, yeah. You have interest in the studio.
She was like, yeah. That actually
He's like, come to the studio. Yeah.
It's actually funny. That actually would be a good billboard. We always talk about marketing, but a billboard would be like, forget therapy, start a podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, Sticky Paws Studio.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Look at that.
And then we talked about her without discrimination.
Right.
With Janti, she liked the concept of
me find you home.
Me find you home long time. Call Janti at 1-833-JANTI.
Perfect.
It's not bad.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
That's great.
These days you got to do something creative.
Right. And then when the clients call me, they probably expect me to speak like that.
You could talk that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I'm
Hello.
so good.
How can I help you?
Hello.
You need home?
You need home? Yeah, that's very good. I'm just going to mock you.
It's not discriminatory if you're Asian and you're speaking that way. Like if I'm Jewish, I make a Jewish joke.
Yeah.
Like if you're black and you say a black joke, like it's okay.
Right. Is it?
Socially.
Right.
So
right? Is it acceptable?
Are you Asian?
Exactly.
I'm not, but because I'm with you, we're good.
No, because it sounded like you were making fun of me.
No. I was just talking about good marketing.
Just kidding.
It's the same thing with if you see Chick-fil-A where there's the chicken, what do you call it? The cow crossing out the chicken or something like that, or on the billboard.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's like you could say
cow kicking the chicken's ass.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. I mean, but like people that listen are very sensitive these days, right? Everyone is fucking have something up their ass. Like, oh my God, what'd you just say? Oh, what'd you laugh at? Hey, why are you laughing at that?
Well, the other day, so Uncle Marvin, so we're going to get into Uncle Marvin because I want to bring him since he has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
But what's interesting the other day was we had someone on the show that it was called the Cupcake, I was about to say the Cocktail Girls, but it's the Cupcake Girls, and they would go
Cocktail Girls.
She thought it was a joke, but it is actually a nonprofit where they go into the brothels or into a strip club, and they will try to engage with people to get them out of like sex trafficking. So what happens
if they were in that situation.
But they literally bring cupcakes to the location as like kind of a
peace offering or like
I think cupcakes, that's
rapport.
all it takes.
Supposedly that's what they do. But it's women. It's women that go in and say, hey, we have cupcakes and we're with the Cupcake Girls. And I guess it's like an icebreaker, to go inside. It seems a little weird person. I asked the woman that was here. But during the conversation, I was joking around with John T, which we always joke around back and forth, where I said that, we started talking about prisons or something. And I said, oh, Janti, you could find a good guy over in Sing Sing prison up in, I think it's Beacon, New York. So one of the jokes was, she says, oh, yeah.
I love prisons and prisoners.
She said she loves prison and prisoners.
Yeah,
but it was
I'm
a joke.
joking.
She was joking, but it was my fault. I was playing with her saying she can go find a good guy, in prison. So someone was listening, a friend of mine, acquaintance, and she's like, oh, it's so messed up. She was rolling her eyes and this, that, So I'm glad people are listening, but...
But here's the problem. I think people take things out of context without watching the whole thing because you only see the little clips. right?
Right.
This 10-second or whatever clip. So, and people judge you by that. And so these people are so dumb, It's like, watch the whole thing first before you make a comment or if you're going to judge people.
It's funny you mentioned Sing Sing. Well, you, David, of course, knows what L'chaim means, right?
To life.
To life, right? Mm-hmm. I have an uncle doing L'chaim in Sing Sing.
Really?
Oh. What does that mean?
Is he single for Gentil or?
To life.
How old is he?
How old?
L'chaim, what you got there?
No, what's L'chaim?
L'chaim means,
L'chaim
I mean,
means-
like doing life.
Oh, he's doing life. Oh, that's
L'chaim.
perfect for me.
Is it really? No, you're joking.
I'm kidding.
That's a good one.
Oh.
We're trying to find.
Hook me up. Hook me up.
I want to find like a pen pal, for Gentil, someone in prison that's a
I
good
have
guy.
plenty of pen pals.
Do you get letters?
I have a lot of letters from prison. Yeah.
And where they go?
They actually mail it to my office because they're able to look it up, I suppose. So I was on a reality show, and I think they're able to look me up based on the reality show.
What's your draw to prisoners?
I don't have one. He's
I'm
fucking around.
I'm just messing around with her.
Yeah, it's all a big joke.
Because I have a whole list of people who would love to get a hold of you if that's the case.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
In prison
I
or out
know.
of prison? Both.
In and out, right?
In and
She's a
out.
beautiful woman. She can be 100,
Absolutely.
right?
In and
Yeah.
out. In and out. Yeah,
repeat,
everywhere.
repeat if necessary.
One of the things is this: she's very, very picky, and she says that she's not picky.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
She's supposed
Well,
to
you tell
be.
me. I mean, you're the wise Uncle Marvin.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring you on because you got a lot of wisdom. Been around the block.
Okay.
Just
A few times.
a few years more than John T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
She uses a lot of moisturizer, so she looks a lot younger than
That's
she really
okay.
is.
Yes.
So whatever it takes.
So that's why I want to bring you on. So what do you what's your take on her list of?
What is your guidance for me as far as dating? I think that's where he's trying
She's
to get
dated
to.
probably over 150 guys.
Whatever, dude.
Without asking you a personal question like
Yes.
how old you are,
Yes.
how old are you?
Almost in my 60s.
How old are you?
Almost 60.
She's not. She just says it to everybody.
Almost 60.
My shoes are older than you.
Yeah, but you look good though. That's good.
Thanks so
Yeah.
You
much.
got nice shoes.
Good thing your shoes look older than me.
She always says that she's like 60. She's,
Yeah.
she's like 48.
Okay, 48.
I'm 47.
Almost 60.
Are you never been married?
Not yet.
Never?
Never. I was engaged several times.
What's holding you back?
I don't know. Maybe I'm afraid of commitment.
Hmm.
I don't
You
know.
know the problem with it is,
God hasn't brought the perfect guy for me yet.
There is no perfect guy.
For me, there is
There
a
is
perfect
no
guy.
perfect guy.
Yeah, there's a perfect guy for me. Everyone has a perfect person for them.
There's never
Yeah.
a perfect guy. There's
not a
never a
per-
perfect woman.
No, what I'm saying is there's not a perfect person in the world, but there's someone that is perfect for that person. That
That I agree
Yes,
with. Because I
that.
married my best friend. We've been
Yes.
together I've been married like almost 60 years.
yeah.
If I add them all up.
Oh. How many?
3.
Ah, okay. Well, good for
Okay?
you.
But my last one, this one here,
Yes.
I married my best friend, my lover. We're totally in love with each other.
That's amazing.
We spend 24/7 every single day.
they've only been married for 3 months.
And that was from last night.
Oh, yay. No, it's perfect.
How long you been married now?
Well, we've been together since 2002.
Oh, that's a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Well, I know maybe, people are different. I think some people fall in love easier.
Well, it took me 3 times to find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you fell in love the other times too, so you're willing to give it a shot.
I fell in lust, I think. I
Oh,
don't
sure.
think I fell in love.
Love, yes.
Yeah.
But enough to marry them, so that means something.
Because I was younger, I got married when I was 21 years old the first time,
I see.
So let's go through that. 21, first marriage.
Right.
And you were originally from
New York.
New York. And
Yeah.
where were you born? New York?
Krakow, Poland.
In Poland. That's where you were born.
Yeah, I'm a Holocaust survivor.
No way.
Born in 44,
You were young then.
Krakow, Poland, just before the end of the war. We got caught. Nazis put us on a train at cattle cars on the way to Auschwitz.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which was a work camp. Oh, yeah. Auschwitz was a work camp. We pulled in. This is the stories my parents were telling me when I was growing up. We pulled into Auschwitz, and as we pulled in, they didn't have room for us because it was so overcrowded. But Auschwitz, like I said, is a work camp. Then they put us back on a train going to Treblinka. Treblinka was a death camp. That's where the ovens were. So we were on our way to Treblinka. And luckily, at that time, the Russians were moving west through Poland, into Germany. And they bombed the tracks. And my parents and I escaped.
Wow.
Yeah, we did.
How old were you?
I was almost a year old.
Oh, okay. So you're a baby, yes.
Yeah, I was a baby.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Devastating.
What a story.
It was a tough upbringing from then to...
Where'd you guys escape to?
Well, we made it by foot, crossing borders, and the safest way to go was into Russia because everybody was going the other way. And we were crossing borders and trying to escape from the Nazis. And yeah, we went through Siberia and into Moscow. And
But you were one, right?
I was 1 year old.
So these are the stories that you remember. I mean,
I have some memories of it, but mostly from my parents. Stories from my parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going back in time and like having a camera follow your family through what you went through?
Yeah, that's
these stories?
incredible. Yeah.
Because my family as well. My one side, much of you know, it was German Jewish. Where right when Hitler was coming into play into Germany, they left through a boat, Ellis Island, and they went to New York City. The other side's Hungarian and Czechoslovakian, which we did the same thing where Hitler was coming and my grandmother had to make believe that she was Catholic, and my grandfather made
a lot of
fake
Jews
passports and paperwork to say they were Catholic just to escape. And I think that my grandmother, she got caught once or twice, and my grandfather got her out. You know, I feel bad because my mother has the stories. I need to really write it out, you know, or audio. And
yeah, you should.
but I definitely lost a lot of family members from the one side,
of course.
And which I always say it's interesting and something to learn from is that so Jewish people that are from Eastern European descent are called Ashkenazi Jews, and then there's Jews that are South, which is Sephardic, which is the South, like Iran, Iraq, all their
Italy, France,
all those other countries. But Hitler never made it that far south. He didn't make it to like Iran, Iraq, where there were other Jews. So like from my wife's side, that's Persian, they have tons of cousins.
Correct.
6 cousins, 7 cousins, in. And from my side, I don't really have that. Maybe you have, first cousin. That's what I mean, like second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins. But we only have a first cousin. So because they died in the Holocaust, we would have a lot more family. Then we also probably wouldn't be in America, right? If things were okay in Europe, right?
Right.
So it is interesting how, people have a lot more family if the Nazis weren't around.
No question.
So definitely a crazy time.
Well, we lost 6 million Jews.
Yeah.
It's not a couple of people. It's a lot of people.
So where did your family came through Russia, then where?
Well, we ended up in West Germany in a DP camp, which is a refugee camp. There were 2 American DP camps and 1 Russian DP camp. Luckily, we made it to the American DP camp, refugee camp, and we spent 3 years there behind barbed wire again. And the quota to leave for America was closed, so we ended up in Canada.
Okay.
We had to go to Canada. So we lived in Canada for about 10 years.
Oh, that's cool.
And we came to America on my birthday in 1956.
Oh, yeah, I was just born.
56?
67.
Yeah. So it's been a hell of a life.
Wow. You know what people don't realize is that, just about every single generation has seen warfare.
Yeah.
Every single one. And it might not happen in this country or that particular country, but it's happening somewhere else in that lifetime.
Sure.
And the people here are so spoiled because nothing has happened in America for 200 years? Yeah. Yeah, at least 200. Yeah. So people don't understand when someone speaks about war.
Right. Well, the American population doesn't comprehend real poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Real poverty is when you come over and you have absolutely nothing except the clothes you're wearing, was like we did. We went to the Jewish Federation when we hit Halifax, Canada, And the Jewish Federation gave my father $100 to start his life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to that. It's like a Jewish museum in Halifax. The way it is.
Absolutely.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It was a cruise boat. We took a.
Yeah.
It's like up a little bit in the hill or
Yeah.
mountain there.
Yeah. Like they don't appreciate the real struggle.
No,
like
they don't.
Is that what you were in Canada by Halifax?
No, they sent us to Toronto.
Okay.
So my upbringing, my young.
How far is that? It's more northeast.
Halifax. I mean, Toronto is more southwest.
Southwest.
Southwest of
Okay.
Halifax.
So the Jewish Federation helped. They gave money.
They gave him $100 to start his life. We ended up in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a tailor by trade, so he had like 2 or 3 jobs and worked 20 hours a day, and that's where I got my work ethics, you know. And he worked his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
When you say tailor, meaning like for clothes or for different things?
Clothing,
Clothing, like tailor.
clothing, yeah.
And that's your father?
My father,
Was a tailor.
a tailor.
Okay. My grandfather was a tailor in New York City.
Right.
He learned that too.
He learned that trade because the original family were farmers in Boland.
Mm-hmm.
We had huge, big farms and cattle and everything else, but the Germans confiscated everything.
Yeah, same thing. Suppose we had land
So
too.
when we were in the DP camp, they taught my father a trade to be a tailor.
Mm-hmm.
So he learned how to be a tailor, and he was a good tailor, and ended up being a cutter. Material cutter, which is like the epitome of tailorship.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, and it's got its own special union.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like on top of his game, and he just worked. And within 5 or 6 years, we had our own home in Canada, in Toronto.
Mm.
And in 1956, we put our quota in to come to New York. And the quota, because at that time you had a quota system. You had your number came up. You had a choice of either moving or not.
Oh. Okay.
How old were you right before you left to go to New York?
12 years old.
12 years old.
Matter of fact, we came to New York on my birthday, on my 12th birthday.
Really?
Oh.
What do you remember being in Toronto? Like, was it so bad to be in Canada? Like, what made America so much better?
My
Canada?
best memories were being brought up in
Toronto.
But it was a small town, you got to understand. At that time, Toronto was 250, 300,000 population.
Mm.
Today, it's 8 million.
Wow.
You know, so it's a huge city, it's like New York. But when I grew up there, it was like a small little community.
I mean, the only thing is just freezing cold, right? Canada.
Well, it's like New York. It's like Chicago. It's like, it's Lake Ontario, snow, lake effect snow. And
I always find it interesting when you travel different places, like you've been to Halifax, Toronto, like you say to yourself, could you live here, right? Like, why we live in Vegas, right? And we're living in New York City, like, what, unless if you have family, that's what family is. But it's just so interesting, right? Everyone lives in so many different places, different countries, and it's just normal to them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Pondering the difference of life or something.
yeah.
Well, I actually want to do like an Airbnb. When we do an Airbnb, you stay somewhere for like a few days. Be like, this is how it would be if I lived here. If I owned this home, like this would be my life. I would walk outside. Like I've stayed in a place by Malibu, which was a nice place, and that's why I like the Airbnb. You kind of get like a few day experience of what it's like to live like in a house,
Right.
in a different location, or if you had to go to the supermarket or somewhere.
Yeah.
I just find this kind of an interesting experience, which I enjoy the Airbnbs.
You know that they have this swap system with houses.
Houses, right?
Yeah, in different countries and stuff.
I've never really looked at it. I know there's some website, right? Have you ever done that?
No, I was thinking about it though.
I think it's a really cool thing. But would you get nervous if someone else is in your house, or you do background checks and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll remove all the stuff that's really important, and just have instructions and stuff for them. Yeah, it's not like you're going to leave your gems and jewels and guns out.
So you came to New York when you were 13.
12
years old. Mm-hmm. Did you have a bar mitzvah when you were 13 in New York?
I was on Pitkin Avenue in Brooklyn.
Oh, is that where you did it?
Yeah.
So you knew I was a cop in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, I did.
So I did walk,
You walked Pitkin?
I walked Pitkin Avenue. And,
remember the Pitkin Paradise Theater?
The theater, right?
Right across the street was called the Paradise Caterers.
Really?
Right across the street from the Pitkin Theater.
So basically, when I was a cop in New York City, so when I was 22, it was in Brooklyn. I didn't ask to go there, but it's called Brownsville, East New York.
Brownsville.
It was a 7-3 precinct. Right. And then it used to be like all Jewish or Italian back in the day.
Right.
It's interesting because like 95% of the people are black there today. And what's interesting, I used to walk a foot post when you're brand new. You just walk around the streets, and a lot of the fencing would have the Jewish stars and Jewish things there.
Right.
And it was just very interesting to see that. But it was a big Jewish area. There was even Jewish mafia that was there back in the day.
Huge.
So I know the theater that you're talking about was actually a United Artists Theater later on.
Right.
And I went in once as a cop where it was basically abandoned, and someone like homeless was inside the place. So we went in with flashlights, whatever, you know. But I think it's totally gone now. But I did go in there when it was. So what year would you say that was when you were there?
57.
So 1957, you were
He
there.
wasn't even born yet.
I was born in 76.
Yeah.
57.
57. So you were a young kid when you were in that theater.
Yeah.
Okay, 56.
Yeah, Ebbsfield wasn't too far away. You know.
So I probably was there. I was a cop in 98. So 1999, I was there.
So it was
40
abandoned already when you were
That's
there.
40 years later.
40,
Yeah.
50, 60, 70, 50. You said 46?
50,
56.
56.
40 years later.
Were you saying that when
He
you were in
said
that theater, you were about 56?
56.
57. Well,
Yeah.
I came in 56. I got bar mitzvah in 57.
Okay, 57, 67, 70, 87, 97. It's like it was 60 years.
So when you went in there, it was abandoned already.
I went in there, was abandoned.
Yeah.
already. You were in that movie theater, you watched movies.
Movies.
Were they black and white?
No, color.
Color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't remember it was United Artists. I mean, there could have been different names.
No, it was the Paradise Theater.
Paradise Theater.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to repeat yourself several times with
Yeah.
Dave, you know.
It was a
Attention.
Pitkin Avenue
ADD.
Paradise
He's got
Theater.
like dementia or something.
I'm getting old.
Something, dude.
So, well, it's funny you say
He's
that.
got a better memory than
A
you.
lot of time, you know, I laugh about it. A lot of times, a lot going on in the podcast, and she's listening because she doesn't have to think about all the questions or what I'm trying to do, whatever.
Right.
And then sometimes someone will say something and she'll repeat it to me because I'm thinking about the next question or how do I do it.
right.
And
No,
some-
but he'll re-ask the question. I'm like, there,
and
there
because I'm not
there's
talking,
the answer.
and then sometimes I'm looking at the text message because someone you know is listening and they message like, so I got a message just now from Black Ice.
Sure.
You know Black Ice?
Yeah, of course.
Black Ice was listening when we talked about you finding a guy.
Oh, what did
he
he
said
say?
God will bring her the perfect guy for her.
I know.
She will meet him soon. His name is Jesus Christ.
I meet him every night, honey.
So I'm always looking
Yeah.
at text messages just to see or
Yes.
messenger if someone wants to leave a comical message that we can laugh about. So Brooklyn. So I walked it's kind of an interesting story. I told the story recently, but when I became a cop in New York City, it's called Gun and Badge Day. You get your gun, you get your badge, and then everyone gets split up into different rooms. It's on 22nd Avenue, which was the NYPD precinct. And you go to a map and they tell you what precinct, and I'm 22 years old, right? So you go in the cafeteria into the big map and it shows 7-3, 7-5, these different precincts. So I go to the 7-3 and I just see Brownsville, Brooklyn. I'm like, oh my God, like I have no clue where I'm going. They send everybody into different rooms. So if you were part of the 7-3 precinct to 7-5, it was one room, or the 8-1, 8-3 in another room. So we all got separated. So we go in the room, and I always say the same story that you always think that the officer that's going to show up to be the officer that comes from that command would represent maybe the community. So if it was like, if it was Chinatown, right, you think you're going to have like a Chinese officer come speak and talk a little bit about like, hey, congratulations, you got signed to, the 12th precinct, and, it's a large Chinese community. So the guy that walks in from the 7-3 was this tall, white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, looked like a Nazi soldier, this guy, remember? But it was really a black community, and all the guy was saying is, hey, do you guys get your I forgot, it's been a long time, but do you guys get your second gun? When do you get it? You definitely need a second gun, in Brownsville, and when you guys get your vest, and they're like, oh my God, like this guy's talking about second guns and vests and so on.
Freaking you out?
I'm about to go to war, and I'm 22 years old. I'd never been to Brooklyn. There was no iPhone really, right, to know where you are. There'd be like the map books, right, of where you were. I was clueless.
Right.
But I remember going home like, I don't know where I'm being sent, but this is crazy. This guy's talking about second guns. I just got my first gun,
Were they just joking?
No, they were dead
Oh,
serious,
that's real. Okay.
And then probably about a week later, we wanted to go down there to see where we got assigned. And I remember, off duty, we wore our vest, the bulletproof vest, and we had our guns with us, and we drove down to see like where we were going to be, assigned. It was Pickett Avenue, and we had a scanner, they call it a buff, like,
Right.
Like you're basically like excited about the job. And I remember listening, they were saying a petty larceny, someone stole something. We went to the location, we watched the cops inside, But it's kind of a funny story because, that we were wearing a bulletproof vest on our off day with our guns just to go drive the area to see where we were being assigned.
Oh, interesting.
So, but it was Pickett Avenue. So I've walked Pickett Avenue numerous times. But one thing that's interesting as a cop, I always felt bad because if you walked into like a grocery store and other people saw you, inside there, a lot of people wouldn't want to go into the actual store that you were in because they were afraid that you were a cop inside. They didn't like cops.
Oh.
So I kind of felt bad for the businesses if I would hang out a little bit, right? Just kind of bullshitting with the market person or whatever.
Right.
People wouldn't want to come in the store, or so.
I see.
But
how
Pick
long
it
were
up is
you there?
interesting.
How long
I
were
was
you
there
in
for
New York?
3 years in Brooklyn.
New York. Oh, that's it.
In
Okay.
Brooklyn,
Okay.
prison there.
Our first apartment was in 1957 was on Chester Street, New Lots and Rockaway Boulevard.
Yep.
You remember?
My first foot post, you go to a corner, was Rockaway and Livonia,
Yeah,
and New Lots and Stone, which was very bad.
yeah. New Lots and Stone, forget it.
It was a horrible area.
Yeah, horrible.
There was like a gated.
Well, we
kind of-
lived there.
You lived there?
Yeah,
So you were
Street.
Chester and what Stone? Chester and
Chester
New
and
Lots?
New Lots.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
It's interesting, yeah. It's crazy, but if you could go back in time just to see like that area, how it was.
Forget about it. I was just there last year.
Oh, is it still the same?
Oh, no. Oh, my God, you can't. I got in and got out.
Oh, it's still bad?
Oh, my God. It's
Oh,
terrible.
that's not good.
It's
I thought they
terrible.
cleaned it up. I thought most of New York was cleaned up.
That area is still kind of.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Just
Well, I lived
terrible.
in the city. I lived in
Where?
61st and Park.
Oh, you had
Yeah.
money.
She was an upper scale, escort.
You had
service in
money.
that
Yeah,
area.
upper scale escort.
Yeah.
So I lived in the finest places.
I went to school on 20. I went
Don't
to
roll your eyes. People are gonna see you rolling their eyes. They're gonna complain.
I went to school on 27th Street,
Oh, you were down.
27th?
You were down.
FIT,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Fashion Institute.
No way. You
Like
went to the
27th and
Fashion
2nd?
Institute?
22nd
Third?
and no, 27th and
That's-
7th,
Okay.
between 7th and 8th.
I tell you what, those New York blocks are long too.
Long,
Not as long as Vegas blocks, but they're pretty,
Yeah, I graduated
pretty
from
long.
FIT.
Oh, cool! Wow.
Yeah.
So did you ever live in Manhattan, or were you always in Brooklyn?
No, I always in Brooklyn and the Bronx. Bronx.
So you actually traveled to college and went back home
From the Bronx, I used to travel all the way down to 27th Street. Yep,
from the Bronx.
from the Bronx.
Okay.
Wow. Hey, I heard the buildings now, or the islands are starting to sink from all the buildings that they're building, from the skyscrapers and the high rises.
It's always been sinking.
Where, Manhattan?
Yeah. Oh no, all that. Yeah, all of the islands
It's been
in
sinking.
New York.
It's been sinking for 200 years.
Well, it's starting to really be noticeable now. Apparently, it's going to be like
Wait-
Venice, Italy.
Let
Soon.
me tell you, with this mayor, it's going to sink quicker.
Uh-oh.
No, it's crazy what's going on there in
Oh,
general.
it's terrible.
All right, so you went to school, Brooklyn, Bronx. You went to school, Manhattan. Travel back and forth. And you went to school for what? For fashion?
Fashion.
Yeah, fashion. I graduated with a,
Yeah, he said fashion.
So, like,
I
what made you do
graduated
fashion?
with a
I'm
merchant-
saying like a surprise. Like I'm saying fashion,
merchandising degree.
merchandising. Okay.
Yeah.
She's big into merchandising.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's me.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
always merchandising.
I'm
something.
always merchandising
Yeah, I
parts
was
of
a-
my body.
I was a buyer for Mays Department Store.
Oh, Maze. You know Maze Department is back in
JW
the day.
Mays.
Maze. No, I never shopped at Maze.
Maybe it's before your time. Probably.
Barney's. I was at Barney's a lot.
Oh, Barney's.
Yeah.
Barney's
Right.
Boys Town.
No, Maze is like it was a
It was
department
like a
store,
Department store.
like Sears, but
Yeah.
before Sears or.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Macy. That's a different one,
That's-
right?
That was upscaled.
Oh,
That was upscaled.
What was it? Macy's, Bloomingdale's.
Yeah,
Maze was before all that,
there was
right?
a JC
Woolworth.
Bloomie's.
Woolworth wasn't really.
I went
was
to
it like-
Woolworth was it was a 5 and 10 cent store.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like smaller, cheaper
Yeah,
items, right?
with,
Okay.
a, with a dinette.
Yeah, I remember when my
Yeah.
grandparents going
Lunch counter.
in what do you call it, Manhattan, uptown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember going with them to the, what was it, five and dime? Was that what
It was
called?
5 and
Dime?
10 cent store. Yeah.
And then there was like the diner,
That's a
kind of-
song.
It's,
That's from a song.
You wanna sing it?
Five and Dine. I don't remember it. If I did, I would sing it right now.
Maybe our engineer
Yeah.
could find the song. Was it 5 and Dime? You want to sing the song?
Yeah, what song is it? Who sings that song? What's his face? The white guy.
I don't know. It's not a white guy.
Let me
Is that
think.
discriminatory? Is that discriminatory, white guy?
The white
me think.
dude from like East
So you
Coast.
can't say that because you're Asian. You can't say white guys. It's discriminatory.
Why not? You make fun of me.
I didn't make fun
Yeah,
of you.
like love you long time.
No, you always say that. So we find you home long time.
Me find
We find you home long time.
me find you.
Okay,
long
so
time.
fashion, merchandising, worked at Maze. How many years did you work at Maze?
About a year and a half, and I went into my own business.
3 things that you learned at Maze, your experience back in the day. How old were you then
I was 19, 20,
that you worked at
20.
1920?
20, 19 years old, 20 years old. Something like
Okay, 1920. 3 things, this is what we're looking for wisdom. 3 things that you learned from your experience working at Maze for, you said about a year and a half?
that. Yeah, I didn't like working for somebody.
Okay, that's one.
I didn't like taking orders.
Too. It's kind of the same.
And I was getting paid very little.
I think most people that work for someone else.
Yeah. So I decided instead of signing the back of a check, I was going to start signing the front of a check.
Yay.
Got it.
I went into my own business. My father backed me up in a liquor store in the Bronx.
Ooh, how rough was that?
Terrible.
Oh my God.
My brother's wife's family had a liquor store too in the Bronx. What's the main road there? Concourse?
The Grand Concourse.
Grand Concourse over there too.
Yeah, I lived by the Concourse and Tremont Avenue.
Was it profitable at all?
It was. It was profitable, but you took your life in your own hands. I got held up maybe 6 times with guns at my head.
Oh my God.
My father in 1973 was shot and killed in that store. In a holdup.
No.
Really? Yeah. Wait, your father was killed in the liquor store?
In a holdup, yeah.
In a holdup. I'm actually texting them right now to find out what the address of the liquor store was.
Oh my God.
That my sister-in-law, basically, the family had. How old were you?
I
When that
was
happened?
turning 29.
Were you working with him then? Were you there?
I was in the store.
You were in the store with him?
No. I had just told my father that I worked that store for 7 years. We opened that store like in, 1967, 66. And I worked that store for 7 years, 6 days a week from 8 a.m. till midnight every single day.
7 days a week?
6 days a week.
6 days a week?
Blue law, you couldn't be open Sunday.
Okay.
And after 7 years, I had burnout, and I wanted to leave.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to get out of New York, so I was on my way to Chicago. And my father took over the store while he was going to sell it. And during that interim, I left in July of 73. He was shot and killed in August. 2 months later.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And you sold it afterwards?
Yeah, we sold it afterwards.
So sad.
Did they catch the guy?
No.
Back then was a...
And he didn't have any weapons.
What's
himself.
funny about it is I worked the 4-8 as an auxiliary.
Oh,
cop.
really? In the Bronx?
Yeah, I worked the 4-8. And we were in the liquor store was in the 4-8.
What's a 4-8?
It's the precinct.
48th precinct.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
So I also was a cop.
Oh, were you?
How long did you do auxiliary for?
Oh, wow.
About 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. They put me on traffic mostly. Yeah, but
That's a long time too.
Yeah.
Did you ever look into did you ever try to find about the guy that killed your dad? Or
There was so much. This was right after Martin Luther King got killed. There was so much crime in the Bronx, in the South Bronx, that there was so many murders, there were so many killings, so much crime. The cops couldn't keep up with it.
That's sort of...
They couldn't keep up with it.
So sad.
And I'm sorry, you said again, just to recap, 29. You were 29.
Yeah.
And how old was your dad?
My father was 56. Yeah.
Did you feel unsafe
after living through the Holocaust
yeah.
and the poorness and growing up and him making something? He couldn't read, write, or speak English, but he spoke 7 other languages. Just couldn't speak English. And he was a brilliant businessman. He taught me everything. Taught me everything.
And your mom must have been devastated. You remember that day?
I was in Chicago. I got the call that my father had been shot. So I jumped on the plane and went to New York. And
did they say he passed away right away?
No, he was in a coma for 2 weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I hate those stories.
So you made it home, go to the hospital.
Yeah, he was incoherent. You know, he was on life support. And eventually, the neurologist came in and said he doesn't feel anything. There's no nerves left. Brain is gone. So what they say is, you have to pull the plug.
Yeah.
It's crazy in our society. I know you've been through a lot as well, but, I'm very fortunate. Like my dad, my mom, right, they're alive. And my grandmother just passed. She was 96, 97. But the truth is, I think we take life, a lot of people take life
for granted.
And the truth is we're very fortunate just to be alive and breathing, wake up every day. And everyone has different problems. There's, no perfect day. But, it's a lot. So that is a sad story. So after that happened, you were in Chicago. I'm sorry, I missed that part. If you said Chicago for what?
I was in Chicago. I just wanted to clean. My wife and I, my first wife and I at the time, thought that we were having some marital problems. So we thought maybe we'd get the hell out of New York and start a whole new life, and maybe we can rekindle our relationship. Wrong. It doesn't work.
No.
No. No. So we
Changing place won't work.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
No.
It's internal.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got divorced, and I went into my own business again. And I was doing a whole bunch of. I've been to so many different businesses. It's ridiculous.
All right, so tell us a bunch of run through some of the businesses that you were involved in.
I had a 5-store optical chain.
Glasses.
I went partners with an optometrist. We opened 5 stores in the Chicagoland area. I had a check cashing business. I had a fine jewelry business. I've been a jeweler for the last 40 some odd years. You know, diamonds and stuff like that.
Are you still a jeweler now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. I love jewelers.
Yeah, I carry my loop all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
You have anything that you want him to loop?
I don't even know what loop is, but
Show
okay.
him the loop. What's a
What's a loop?
Loop is the eyepiece.
Oh, no.
You always carry just in case, like, someone wants you to look at
Somebody,
something.
yeah, somebody wants to sell something, I'm a
You got something on
buyer.
you? Take a look at this.
I
Tell
don't
me.
want to sell anything, but
Take a look at that stuff. Tell me what it's worth.
these are all fake.
This
You should have told them.
Here, this is a 4-carat diamond.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I made the watch.
Oh, really? But like by yourself, like on your
I
own?
did all the bling bling on
Oh,
it.
wow. Look
All
at that.
diamonds are on
Very nice.
the Rolly.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if it's real or fake, her stuff? Let's see.
All fake.
You can tell right now?
Yeah.
How do you know it's fake?
Color, brilliance.
Her face or the jewelry?
Both.
Both.
She's real. The
These,
original-
these are not fake.
Let me see. These are not fake?
No, these aren't fake. This is from
Are you
my
sure? This looks a little cloudy.
Whatever, dude. I have all the papers.
No,
to
I
go
want
with
to.
it.
I want
Is
to
that
see.
a Salon Sapphire?
Yeah, this one's a yes.
Salon Sapphire?
I don't know if it's salon. I have the paperwork for it. But
Everyone-
yeah, this was my old engagement ring.
Let me see.
Yeah. Oh, you
Let's see. Let's see. I want to.
I don't think it comes off.
I only got to look. This.
Yeah, leave it on the finger.
Yeah, do that a little bit more. Helps the show ratings. I'm trying to get more views here.
Wait, hold,
John Orlando doesn't help. I need.
hold still.
Yeah.
She's very creative with her. Let's see. I think her arm is worth more.
It's probably dirty because, I don't get to clean.
I look right through the dirt. It's a nice stone.
It's
Yeah,
good.
No, it's nice.
It's a nice stone.
It's real.
He did a good job. And,
Yeah.
he got it from the Casey boys,
What's Casey Boys?
the jewelers out of Kansas City, Casey boys.
What about the
That
other
was
one?
his connection. At
One more
that
check
time.
the other one. This is the other one.
This one comes off, actually.
I want to get.
Now, this one came from a gemologist.
This looks like
So he's a gemologist, so he picks the best
I mean, do you know
stones.
all the stones? Do you know all that stuff?
You better know all that
I'm
stuff.
a gemologist.
He's a gemologist, too.
Me too. I'm a gemologist too on the side.
Yeah, and you're some other kind of
Let me see what else you got.
ologist.
Let me see what you got. let me take a look with my.
You're some
let me
other
take-
ologist.
Here we go. Yep, that doesn't look real to me.
They call this a cushion cut salon.
Yeah, it's a good stone. It's just really beat up.
It's also buffed. You need to buff it out.
I know we did. We tried to buff already the top part,
Yeah.
but they couldn't do any more because,
You have
But
to have the facets repolished.
I'm rough with it. Like I hit
You have to have
stuff.
the facets, all the facets.
Yeah.
You have to have them repolished.
Okay. Yeah. See, they did. I had the jewelers.
Because you're ruling the jewelers?
Yeah, I went to the jewelers. Oh, you don't like them?
Mordecai?
I've known them forever.
Mordecai?
Mordecai. Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've taken a lot of my stuff to him.
I used to sell
over the
them.
years.
I used to sell them stuff
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Chicago.
He's
Okay.
fun. He's
So
a
here's a
character.
question for you. You go to all these jewelry stores.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you
Yeah.
go to play, everyone's like 80% off, 60% off, right?
Off of
Like,
what?
Off of what, right? So, like, how does the regular person, they go into the mall? It's probably the worst place to go look for jewelry, right? There's the mall.
If you want to pay through the nose, yeah, you go to the mall.
Okay. So, like, what's the wisdom in regards to buying jewelry? Since you've been a jeweler for how many years?
45.
Take
So
a
give it-
jeweler with you.
Take a jeweler with you.
No.
A jeweler won't even go with you, bro, right?
No.
They want you to buy from them. I mean, he's not going to want to go
course.
with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so how do you know to protect yourself?
Learn the business.
It's impossible to learn jewelry. I mean,
That's exactly right.
How many years did it take you to learn that stuff?
It took me about 15 years to really know what I was talking about.
Okay. And classes and training and books or just experience?
No, I went to school, GIA, Gemological Institute of America. Got my degree with gemology.
Okay.
And, colored stones.
So, bombs you shouldn't buy at the mall. And how do you, these days also, everyone's like changing the gold. They're just stamping it, 14, 18.
Well, you got to be careful. There's a lot of counterfeit out there, like everything else. Rolexes and Piagets and Flasherons and Patek Philippe. You got to be careful. It is difficult for me today. Sometimes what's coming out of China to tell the difference between a real Rolex and a fake.
Yeah, they do
without taking it apart, without opening the back and checking the parts.
They can't tell.
Can't tell.
Okay, so bottom line is, doesn't sound like you should be really shopping for jewelry. The mall is definitely out of place. Even if I go to someone like you, how do I have to be careful with you?
Well, why do you have to be careful about a car dealer?
Yeah,
it's a problem.
What my mom used to do.
I'm afraid of car dealers.
You have to have confidence in the person that you're dealing with.
But the difference with the car is that you can go online, like Kelly Blue Book, look things up. But when it comes to jewelry,
what do you know what's underneath the hood?
Yeah,
well, if you're buying something new or used, it's a problem.
How do you know it didn't come out of a flood? How do you know it didn't come out of a distress?
And they probably that would be in the what do they call it? The Carfax, right?
That's not necessarily.
But that's not even perfect, right? That's not it's something, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed.
Yeah. So my mom used to go to a jewelry store. My mother was also a jeweler. I grew up with, and she sold jewelry my whole life. So she would deal with certain jewelers, and every time she would go to a jewelry store, she would have stuff done, and she goes, well, I want to go back there and watch it, and they would allow her to. Because they don't, she's
to clean it or something, right?
My jewelry store in Chicago, I had a 4,000 square foot location. It was huge. I had 13 people working for me. I had 6 jewelers sitting in the window doing the work. I manufactured all my own stuff.
Oh, okay.
I had 6 jewelers sitting in the window. So if a person came in with a diamond ring and they didn't want to let it out of sight, they would stand in the front of the window and watch the guy work on it.
That's good. Yeah, see? That's honest.
There's no reason for a jeweler to switch a stone on you.
Right.
I mean, they do.
But some might, right? Yeah. There's bad people everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, besides jewelry, what else, for words of wisdom, from your experience? You've been through 3 marriages. You've been through a loss of a loved one, family member, which was hard. Jewelry for many, many years. Got to be really careful with that in general. What other tips that we can give to John T as she lives her long-filled life? Give her some tips. We have 8 minutes left.
He needs some tips too, not just tips? Me. He needs tips as well. I get tips all the time.
Do you?
Oh, wait, by the way, before we do the tips.
Everybody wants to put the tip in.
Everyone's trying to always give her tips. Okay, why don't we do this real quick? We have a song for, Nikki's going to play a song for John T. Maybe she could sing the song. Let's see. You got the song?
You going to sing for me, Nikki?
No, you're going to sing.
Oh, what?
Can we make it a little louder?
What is it? I can't even hear it.
This is your song, Love at the 5 and Dime.
Oh.
Rita was 16 years, hazel eyes and chestnut hair.
I don't think that's the song I was thinking of. I was thinking of a guy.
This is like an old song.
Yeah.
This is Love at the 5 and Dime.
And Eddie was a sweet romancer. Darn
good
dancer.
No, this is
what I was thinking.
This is where it says Woolworths. This is like an old school song. And an old school place. So this is a new song.
Okay. No, it was kind of a newer guy in the 80s.
Okay.
Something 5 and dime. Anyways, whatever.
Now, David, you know how I got involved in this business, don't you?
Which business?
Here?
Yeah.
No.
John came to me one day, almost 3 years ago, and said, Uncle Marvin, I need some money to open up a podcast studio.
Okay.
I didn't know the first thing about podcasting. What's podcasting? I'm an old guy. I'm old school. So he talks me into it. I put up the money for the whole place, okay? And God bless John, this place has made money from day one.
Oh, that's great.
So we have to open up a podcast studio.
He's an incredible. No, I'll tell you.
It's it's the person,
it's
not the
John.
Yeah, I agree.
It's John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a lot of people in business that just are not successful.
And
so definitely, John's. He's good.
This is my third venture with John. Mm-hmm. In 1994, when Tony, his father, Tony Orlando, had a theater in Branson, Missouri. Mm-hmm. It was called the Tony Orlando Yellow Ribbon Music Theater. Okay, so John was the opening act as a comedian for his father.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to do 20 minutes every show.
No wonder he's so funny.
He's a funny guy. So John comes to me then, and he says, Uncle Marvin, I want to open up a tanning salon. Mm-hmm. I said, John, what are you, nuts? A tanning salon in Branson, Missouri? During the summer, it's 100 degrees. The humidity is 120. Mm-hmm. The mosquitoes are as big as cats. You got to be nuts. Why would people want to tan? He says, trust me, all these entertainers, they don't want to lay in the sun, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to invest in the tanning salon. He says, you don't get it. Mm-hmm. Now, Tony's Theater
across the street
was right across the street.
He told me the story.
I told you the story.
No, he told me.
Oh, he told you.
Because I actually owned the tanning salon in New York City, too.
Oh, did you?
That's the one thing we have in common, John.
So John says to me, Uncle Marvin, you don't understand. It's not going to be the tanning salon. It's going to be the name of the tanning salon that's going to sell it. Mm-hmm. I said, what's the name? He said, Orlando's Sun.
Oh.
S-U-N instead of S-O-N.
I didn't know the name, actually.
Orlando's Sun.
Oh,
okay, which is
cute.
very
it's
cute.
Like a play on words.
Play on words. Right across the street from the theater. I says, I'm in.
I like it. You know what's funny? I never knew the name, but I'm going to make a shirt now that says like Orlando's Sun.
Yeah.
Like a tanning bed. Just wear it when you're from lunch. Let's see what it says. That's the one thing that we have in common, actually. When we first met, we said tanning salon. I own the tanning salon.
Yeah, yeah.
But to own a tanning salon, and you worked in a tanning salon? Or you?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no. No, I wasn't sure if you did.
What do people do in tanning salons anyways when they work there? Like just set you up?
Well, it's actually the worst.
Well, you wipe down the bed. You got to wipe down the bed.
But it's not even wipe down the bed. It's
Yeah,
like
no,
the sweat, the disgusting
The
sweat.
sweat.
And who knows what else was inside that bed that I cleaned up as well.
Yeah.
But
What do they do there? You can't really do nothing, right?
I don't know. People do some weird stuff in these tanning beds.
And how?
You should know.
Why would I
I've
know?
been in a tanning bed before.
Jesus, no, I don't do anything in there. I can barely move.
You sure?
Yeah.
You seem very flexible.
Like you stay like still because
Yeah, so
the tanning
it
bed's on
really
top
is
of you.
disgusting in regards to the sweat and whatever stuff they left in cleaning up their people's,
Oh, it's terrible.
stuff.
Really?
But I did it as well. I had it for about 3 years and then we sold it. So when I met John, it was like, he likes Coca-Cola. He had a tanning salon. It was interesting. It would have been interesting to meet John if I was here. I'm here 21 years. 21 years ago, if he lived in Vegas, to meet him then. But yeah, we definitely have some similar things. So.
Okay.
All right, so listen.
You're both perverted too.
Yes.
So you're very similar
He
with that.
likes young women.
I taught John everything
Oh,
he
I
knows.
bet you did.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
I can see that.
He likes young women, so I like young women too.
You're actually refraining yourself, right? Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
behaving.
I'm trying to behave in front of you.
Yes.
He's
In
trying to
front of me. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
He's trying to be on his best behavior.
Oh. Well, you don't have to be.
As
It's
long as
okay.
my wife isn't here.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I get that part.
That's what she's used to that stuff. That's
Oh,
that's
she
about-
is?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been around the block a long time.
Long time.
She knows it all. All right, so bottom line is
I'm
this:
always the other woman.
the business. You could have been the woman for 3 people, right?
Oh, more than that.
More.
Yeah.
She could have been 10 times over.
Yeah.
What guy gave you that?
Oh, this was one of my.
She just collects engagement rings. That's all she wants to do.
One of my ex-fiance. Yeah.
One.
He was amazing.
If you ever want to sell it, I'm a buyer.
Oh no, I don't sell any of my jewelry.
I pay cash.
All the gifts that I've gotten over the years
Yeah.
from all.
She's a collector.
I
She's an engagement
I keep it
ring
all.
collector.
Yeah, I keep it all.
I
I'm
collect-
sentimental.
I collect wives, you collect jewelry.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I don't know why you'd want to collect like an engagement ring because it's a little too deep sentimental.
Well, no. See, I don't look at it like that. Okay, so my mother went through the war in Cambodia, and people were dying, and so she had her jewelry that she was able to survive the war with. And what she did was she broke all the stones and she sewed it into her garment.
Right.
And she would use that to support families and bribe, officials.
Sure.
Also, yeah. So I have the same mind frame.
Sure.
So I'm keeping all of it because shit's gonna hit the fan here in America probably soon. Hopefully not, but
just for another year or so.
yeah, exactly. So I'll have some
Once
stuff.
Trump comes back, it'll be all right.
Quick question for
see
you.
what happens.
The liquor store that you Well, your dad passed away in it. What road was it on?
176th Street and Anthony Avenue.
I gotta look at the difference. So their liquor store was 6 East Gun Hill Road, the corner of.
Oh, he was way up north.
Way up north.
Oh, better neighborhood, much better neighborhood.
Okay, so your area was much more dangerous.
Mine,
Yeah.
South Bronx.
So you were south. This was what, North Bronx or?
That's North Bronx.
Interesting. She just
New York
texted us.
is so big.
Yeah, Gun Hill Road was a good neighborhood.
Interesting. I think they had it for almost like 30 years. Family Italian.
Yeah, it was a good
business liquor store.
Yeah, good neighborhood.
Okay, so we got through a lot of stuff with Marvin. Anything else you want to share as we wrap up?
You asked me a question about early to
Guidance.
bed,
Yes.
early to rise,
Mm-hmm.
work hard, and advertise.
Advertise. I like that. Why advertise?
How else do you get the word out?
You know, we tried.
That's not my saying, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's his name from the guy that owns the networks, Turner.
Oh,
Ted Turner.
Ted Turner?
Ted Turner. That's
Okay.
his saying.
Is it
Say it again one more time.
Early to bed.
Early to bed.
Early to rise.
Early to rise.
Work hard.
Work hard.
an
and
advertise? Oh, it rhymes. How cute.
One of the things I got for her when we first met, I told her I'm always big with vanity phone numbers, and we got her the toll-free number 1-833-JOHN-T. And I noticed the other day you've been using it more.
I've used it.
Yeah.
But I've only gotten literally like one call.
But sometimes, with these vanity phone numbers, though,
Don't make fun of that.
No, and he's breathing heavily on the other end.
Oh,
And it was me.
That was me.
No, one thing that's good about these numbers, it just helps brand the person.
Yeah.
They may not call that number, they may private message or
Yeah,
text her,
yeah.
but it helps brand them. But it's cool to have a number that is your
Yeah.
name.
Absolutely.
And it's not even easy. Like she got that number when I found it for like $20.
Right.
I mean, I've spent $10,000 on
I'm still
numbers.
paying
Yeah,
it.
it's $7 a month. She's being
Yeah.
cheap. She's a millionaire with paying
Well, whatever.
$7 a month a number bond. She's complaining about it. Does this girl look like a millionaire to you or what?
Absolutely.
She's definitely smarter than she
Have you ever
looks.
had any failures?
Oh, sure. I mean, I've tried a lot of different jobs and a lot of different things as well in my life.
I mean, in your
Yeah.
own business, have you had any failures?
Not right now, no. No.
In the past?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best test.
No, I don't think so.
The best test is when you do have a failure.
Mm-hmm.
You learn from it,
Yes.
and you don't make those mistakes. I've had a few
Oh,
failures.
yes, I have. Yes.
You
yes.
know, I learn from my mistakes,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
did.
do them again.
I did,
you know?
yes. Yes.
And I've had so many different businesses, and it's
Yes.
been
For me, it was going into business with certain people, and obviously you're trying out things.
Yeah,
and,
that's a
you-
problem.
Yeah, you have faith
That's a
in people.
problem.
That's the lessons that I've learned.
Yeah.
Yes,
why go into business with somebody you could do it yourself?
exactly. I've learned
But
to do
you
it
know,
myself.
business in general is just not so easy. I mean,
No, you got
It's
to
not
make
easy.
payroll. You know, the guy that signs the front of a check has got a huge weight on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Him and her.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have a huge weight on their shoulders. They got to make payroll. They got to make rent. They got to pay the electric. They got to pay the gas. They got to before they even take a nickel for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
It's tough.
not easy to be in business.
Yep.
Not
I've had
easy.
more failures in a relationship though, so I've learned a lot of lessons there. In business, I've been actually quite successful.
Why don't you put your business practices to a relationship?
I don't because it's different. I don't.
Not
I
different.
can't
You're
operate.
married to a business.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think maybe I tried that with the relationships that I had because that's all I know, right? But it didn't work out. I just think it's not the right time yet. And when the time is right, it happens.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't push it.
No, I don't. Yeah, not at all.
Don't-
All the people around me push. This one's pushing. I was trying to set me up with people, but I'm not pushing.
You
I don't
date a
care.
lot?
No.
You don't date a lot. So how do you meet people?
I meet people every day, but I'm selective. So before I go on the date,
Selective mutism.
Yeah, I have to feel something or attraction before I even go on the date. But I see people
What
every day.
attracts you?
Different things. Yeah,
What?
there's not anything specific.
Like what?
Like, I don't know, maybe the way they look, the way they smell, what they said, how humorous they are, any of that factor.
It's just spontaneous?
Yeah, usually. I feel it. My loins are, wet or not, when I meet them, the first 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And
How are you
yeah,
feeling right
that's
now with Marvin? Even though he's married, like, how do you feel? Like, do we have to get a janitor?
You know,
after.
those are, those, David, those
Janitor, studio.
my
it.
own-
My
studio
loins are
room two.
dripping, then you're in a good place.
I've never heard a woman say that. Like, if my, what did you say again?
loins
My
are dripping.
loins are
You never heard
dripping.
that?
When's the last time a woman told you that? All the time.
Yesterday.
Besides today.
6 hours
This is the reason
ago.
why they do a lot of cleanup after the show is over again. It's like the problem solver. All right, so listen, Uncle Marvin, I'm really glad we got you on the show. Time is money here at Sticky Paws Studio, as you know. So every minute here costs me like an extra $100.
I give you overtime, no
You give me
problem.
overtime, no problem. He's always comp. He's
No
like, you know what? The next 5 minutes we're gonna comp.
Free
No
airtime.
charge.
Comp in the next
No
5 minutes.
charge.
Thank you. You're
No
so
charge.
generous.
But I do like my emotion to be creative with advertising, as we say, advertise. I think we need to have a billboard for Sticky Paws that says, "Why go to therapy? Start a podcast, Sticky Paws Studio."
It doesn't rhyme.
No?
You need to find something else to say.
think it's
But
funny.
that's close.
There's definitely no
Yeah.
billboard in town that says that.
Yeah.
We
Something
don't-
like that.
Yeah.
I'm not spending $4,000 a month to put up a few
You
words.
could do digital social media billboards that don't really
It
exist.
doesn't work.
He's like, he doesn't even need it.
I'll make you one.
Yeah.
I'll send
Doesn't-
you.
doesn't
it could just
work.
Say, it could say
Billboards
women go to therapy,
do
men
not-
start podcasts, and then Sticky Paws.
Billboards do not work.
It helps with branding. No,
It's just vanity.
You got
disagree?
6 seconds to look at that billboard while
So
you're
what works?
driving by.
relationships. Besides relationships,
Word of mouth.
that's what John T's doing. With her mouth. That's how she gets a lot of business.
I do. My mouth.
In
brings
and
a lot.
out, repeat if necessary.
Yeah. I love the billboards though, because then I look at to see who I would date.
Most of the billboards in town when
I
she
get
drives
that
in the
few
215,
seconds.
things are all ex-boyfriends have given her rings. That's how she feels. So she's like, I got a ring from that guy. That guy gave me a ring.
That guy.
Right?
That guy gave me STD.
Be honest. Tell him right now. How many rings have you gotten
That
from
guy
Billboard
gave me
men?
STD. That guy gave me. I'm just kidding.
From Billboard men, how many rings have you got?
No, none. Come on.
How long you been here?
20 years.
Where you from?
Texas originally.
What part?
Houston.
Houston. I
What's the
was
last
just
four of
there.
your social security number?
The what?
What's the last four of your social security number?
I don't know.
All my exes
even
live in
citizen.
Texas.
All
Really?
my exes live in Texas too.
That's a song,
yeah.
right? All right, John T, did you learn anything today? You want to?
You know how?
I learn a lot every day. Thank you,
No
Uncle
problem.
Marvin.
You
One
know what
last-
happens when you play a country western song backwards?
No,
You get your dog back, you get the house back, you get the wife back.
everything comes back. Yeah, perfect. I love country western.
Yeah, me too. You know, country western and rap just merged.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you know what they're calling it?
No.
Crap.
Oh, there was a hit song that was rap and country. Yeah, that was like a couple years ago. You didn't see that one? That was good. That was good. Everything's merging.
Everything's
Yeah,
merging.
awesome.
So listen,
Yes, listen.
before we leave, I want to see how quick our young engineer here, Nikki, is.
Okay.
Nikki, can you? I wanted to like have a song for you. We'll pick a random song.
Okay.
That would be good to end the whole problem solver this week. As she looks up something real quickly here,
Oh, me so honey.
that was last week's
Me
song.
so honey.
But I want to say is this: on the problem solver show,
Long time.
on a weekly basis, as much as me and
That's
Jesse
what
have
she was gonna
fun,
pick.
the goal is like solve problems and to help people, right? So the wisdom of your experience, so you've been around the block for a long period of time and basically sharing some different things in regards to like even like waking up. A lot of people have that, right? They
Insights.
say it's the 4 a.m. club that people wake up, they go to the gym. So I'm exhausted. So I couldn't imagine.
We
what it
increased
was.
our revenue 60%. I think our team had something.
Is that you finding a song here? So anyway, the wisdom that you're sharing on the stories, I think that if people listen to it, they can gain strength from it. My concept of the problem solver is that when people have problems, to call me, and actually, I get calls and text messages all the time, and they want to meet all different things, and I really enjoy helping people. But I do feel when I have different people on the show like yourself, by having learning their story or their experience of what's happened to them. I mean, listen to your story. You could just be fortunate to know that you have your father or mother basically with you for 50, 60, 70 years. Some people are not blessed. Things just happen, for unusual reasons. And we all have different stories in general. So, I mean, definitely appreciate you coming on the show and sharing some
I
wisdom.
appreciate you having me. Thank you so
I think it
much
was
for
fun.
having me on.
Thank you. It was
We wanted to
fun.
have him on for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
kept saying
yeah?
we got to come on the show.
Aw.
And technically, you only did one show with John. Right? But
Never did a show.
Never did it once?
You're the first one.
Really?
Oh, yay.
I broke your cherry.
Yeah, you broke my cherry.
Popped his cherry.
Popped the cherry, broke.
He broke.
Sorry. I'm glad you told
You're
me.
not that big, I don't think.
Nikki, any luck?
I don't know, but
let's see.
I think
Let's
it's
play. This is a special song for Janti. Let's see.
Oh, let's hear
Let's see
it.
what we got.
Sounds Chinese. Great.
តនៈភីតែថាជាកូនខ្មែរគោរពពុកម៉ែជនជាតិខ្មែរទាំងអស់គ្នាមរតកប្រវត្តិសាស្ត្រសម្រាប់កម្ពុជាស៊ីហ្គេមប្រកួតគ្នាលើទឹកដីសុវណ្ណភូមិយុទ្ធខំបុកកដោគុណក្បាច់ពីបុរាណដូនតាយើងបានសល់ទុកឲ្យយើងគ្រប់គ្នាវប្បធម៌អភិរក្សនាំគ្នាការពារមិនត្រូវរុញរាស្រឡាញ់អ្វីដែលខ្មែរមាន
ប្រសង្ហាខ្ញុំសូមជម្រាបសួរចារំលែកចង់វាំងខ្មែរអង្គពីវត្តណារៀមរាបើរំមិនសូវស្ទាត់អូនបងរៀនបានណារំចាប់ចង់តែណាអូនជូនបានណាខ្លៃ
បងចង់ទៅទស្សនាប្រាសាទបុរាណស្រែកជុំមួយទាំងប៉ុន្មានឲ្យបានយល់ពីអត្ថន័យចម្លាក់នៅលើប្រាសាទគេដូនតាអស្ចារ្យក្រៃនាមកូនខ្មែរប្រុសស្រីសូមសន្យាខិតខំថែប្រាសាទ
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for that.
I'm on a keto diet. I can't eat rice.
You don't have to eat rice. There's other stuff there.
Like what?
There's like meat,
meat's good.
and children.
Oh, meat's good.
I'm just kidding.
Children?
I'm just kidding.
They have dog?
Dogs and cat.
Dogs and cat?
They're all nutrition. Yeah, nutritious. No, we don't eat dog and cat there, but during the war they did.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
We also ate horse during the war.
Oh my goodness, yeah. No, Cambodia is amazing, and I actually still have family in the government there.
Really?
So if you guys come, you'll be treated
Communists or Democrats?
Well, they're not communists anymore. No. No.
If we go, how would we?
You'll be treated amazingly.
Really?
Yeah.
Should we go?
If you want to come. I try to go once a year. I haven't been,
We're in Cambodia.
Well, I'm from Phnom Penh, which is the capital.
Phnom Penh.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah. No wonder.
I have a house there.
You look familiar.
I have a second home there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I bet you do.
Phnom Penh.
Off of
Delancey Street.
Off of Yin Yang Street. I'm picking. Yin Yang and picking. You know Yin Yang and picking?
Uh-huh.
So we should go. We should do the trip.
Yeah, y'all should. Seriously, if you want to come with me. It's amazing.
How's the water?
The water?
Yeah.
Like
for
to swim?
drinking?
Yeah, drinking.
I think we drink bottled water though. Yeah.
So you can't drink tap water.
No, I wouldn't recommend that at all. But the exotic fruits, oh my God, it's amazing. And then the temple. Yeah, it's awesome.
We need to
people are so amazing there. They're really, I mean, the war put us back 100 years.
Sure.
So we had to come back out of it. And so now Cambodia advanced the last, I want to say 10 years. Before that, though, they were back in the Stone Age.
I've been all over the world. I've just never been to the Orient.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you don't like Asian girls then, apparently.
I like Asian girls.
But that's not your preference. If it was a preference, you'd already been to Asia.
All girls are.
Or would it matter an Asian girl?
No, some guys are into Asian women.
Yeah,
those are the ones,
Are you
that
kidding
love
me?
me.
I wasn't discriminatory.
Oh, right, yeah, but you've been married one after another, so yeah, you can't.
Of white girls.
What's your point?
The point is you couldn't try any Asian girls.
How do you
Have you ever dated?
I don't
Have you ever
know.
dated an Asian girl?
Yeah.
How
While
was
you're
experience?
married?
She was from Vietnam.
Oh no, those are bad.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was a
Vietnamese. Oh,
pet. I threw her out.
Okay.
yeah, they're really, really mean.
Cambodians are better.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Cambodians are better.
Uncle Marvin, we're
Yeah.
going to go to Cambodia with Janti. She's going to take us, okay?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay, we're going to set up a trip. We're going
Thank
to set up a Sticky Paws Studio tour trip to Cambodia.
I have to learn how to speak the
Amazing.
language.
No, you
We'll
don't.
we'll just go with her.
You don't have
All right,
to.
so sounds good. So anyway, Uncle Marvin, thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us
Uncle
today.
Marvin.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for your
much for having
wisdom.
me. Thank you.
Again, really, it's a sad situation with your dad. I feel bad now that I know the story.
Oh,
I know it's been so many
many
years,
years
but
ago, yeah.
I mean, I always feel sad when there's a victim of a crime.
I learned from that childhood on how to behave in life.
No, it's a quick
You know,
story.
how to get I had a street education all my life, living in New York and everything else. You know, just
Got it.
you know, you
It's tough.
You know the game. You know,
Yeah, I hear
you.
you.
You know the game.
He's had it easy.
And we need to do it. My dad as well. My dad. We need to go out for the dinner.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. We talked about it a while. We definitely need to do that next
Yeah,
week
for
or two.
sure.
Because I wanted to meet you. And like I said, as we get older, I think that my mom and dad, they don't really know people. Maybe we should do even a double date to go out a little bit.
There you go.
Just to get out. They're always trying to. They're like true New Yorkers. They always want to make friends with people. And I'm always like, who
Always.
needs to make friends with other people? You together. But it's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As you get older, a little bit harder as well. But Janti, as usual, thank you
you.
for being my beautiful Cambodian
Thank
co-host.
you. Yeah.
Thank you for your knowledge, experience, your cat noises, your meows. Thank you so much. Oh, we still didn't make the noise thing of you.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do that. They slacked here.
I already did
She
it.
makes a lot of noises. I want to get a button thing where I just press it, the random noise.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But it's all her
Yeah,
noises.
Right.
We did it one time.
All my moans and groans.
So we could just press it like it did time. Meow, meow.
Well, I recorded you last night.
Oh, did you?
All the moans are gone.
Oh, good. Okay. Give it to him then.
He's selling. But anyway, thanks so much, Uncle Marvin. Thanks, Shanti, for being co-host as well. As usual, the Problem Solver today, which is actually fun, talking, get to know Uncle Marvin, learning about his experience in life and teaching us some words of wisdom. As usual, I'm Dave Kohlmeyer, a retired police officer for 17 years. Grew up in New York City, have a lot of resources that are available for people in Las Vegas, all over the U.S., whatever I can do to help people. Again, I'm the Problem Solver. Go to theproblemsolver.vegas or 702-999-1111, 702-999-1111. Thank you so much. Be safe, be careful. See you next week.